so much for watching. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's DIY bread video, I have a tutorial for you guys on how to make place cards as well as menus for your wedding. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I think they look really nice. Things like this definitely step things up a little bit if you know what I mean, but honestly it's really inexpensive and it's pretty simple to do, so I really hope you guys like it. I also am doing a little bit of a haul. I have some personalized items I want to share with you guys. I think a lot of you will like those as well, so before I get started, please subscribe and like this video if you enjoy it, and let's get started. I'm going to start with the place cards. So the first thing you need to do is go to PicMonkey.com. There are a few different selections, so select the one for design, that way we can start from scratch. And the next thing you are going to want to do is select a transparent background. That way when you are printing, it won't print a white square, it just won't be anything except for what we put down. The next thing I'm going to do is go to the top button on the left. It sort of looks like a square with like straight lines sticking out, like a symbol for cropping. And then at the bottom of this tab, there's an option for resizing, so select 250 by 250. There also is an option for the proportions. I always uncheck that since it's just a square that won't really matter, but that will matter for the menu. I'm next going to go to the butterfly tab, and at the top of that is a selection for shapes. So I'm going to select a rectangle and make it really skinny and really long, that way it fills the entire box. And then I'm going to right click so I can duplicate what I already have. That way I don't have to worry about it like not having the perfect shape or perfect line, if you know what I mean. So I'm just going to make another of the same. One is going to go on the top, one is going to go on the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing for the size. I'm just going to start over with a rectangle. Instead of making the rectangle longer, I'm going to make it taller and skinnier. Right click so I can duplicate it and then just put it on the far sides. Once that's done, we basically just have a perfect square with an outline. So I'm going to save this onto my computer, and then I'm going to open a landscape style page in Pages. When you open Pages or Microsoft Word, whatever you have, make sure that you turn off the margins, the header, the footer, and all of those. With my printer, even though I turn all those off, there still is a little bit of a border, so that's definitely something I think you should keep in mind. I'm going to drag these into the page, and I can fit 4 of them on a page. I always like to have a little bit of space on every side, so when I cut it out, it's a little bit easier. I also recommend that you have them in perfect lines, and that way when you cut it out, it's just a little bit easier since a few squares are in the same line when you cut, if you know what I mean. So that's definitely something that I like to keep in mind. The next thing I'm going to do is print as many pages as I need. So when you print it out, I recommend taking a picture when it comes out of the printer so you can see exactly how the page prints. That is really important for the next step, so I definitely recommend doing that. The next thing I'm going to do is get out some paint. So I was using a gold paint from a Martha Stewart line, and honestly I've had that forever. I'm pretty sure I bought that for like furniture or something like that, so I don't even think it's for paper, but it worked really well for this. So I just used a very wide paintbrush. I put a little bit of water on it, and as you can see I just went straight across the page. It's really inconsistent lines. Some of them are thinner, some of them are thicker, but I absolutely love the way that it looks. So I just did that on all of my pages, waited for it to dry, and then I put those pages back in my printer exactly how they printed out. So the next thing you're going to do is go into Pages, and I believe I was using a text size of 35. Whatever works for you though. Some people like it smaller, some people like it larger. I thought 35 was a good size for the text I was using. And in case you're wondering what text, I believe it's called Snell Roundhand. I just centered that in the box in the bottom half because we are going to be folding it, so you want to make sure it's on the bottom. Once you have one done, I recommend you right click so you can duplicate it and then just retype whatever person's name you're doing, so then you don't have to go back to the text, fix the size, and pick the text. It just will have the same thing, and all you have to do is retype it. So once you have all 4 of those done, centered exactly where they should be, then you can erase the boxes and just have the text there. And that way when you print it out, the only thing that is printing is the person's name. It won't reprint the squares, so you won't be wasting any of your ink. Once you have one done, then you already have the text exactly where you need it to be for everyone else's name. So if you want to undo and put the boxes back right before you print, it might be a little bit easier that way, but for me, I just would highlight the text and rewrite someone else's name and print them out that way. So once you get going, it really won't take that long at all. I just think this looks so nice. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I was using an X-Acto knife because it's just a little more consistent than scissors, but if all you have is scissors, then work with what you have. It won't be that much of a difference. And then of course, once you cut it out, the only thing you have to do is fold it in half and you are all done. So I love how this turned out. I hope you guys like it too. I just think it's really simple. It doesn't take that much time, but it makes a huge difference. The next thing I'm going to show you guys how to do is make menus, and I absolutely love how these turned out. I just think they look really nice. I'm excited for everyone to have their own menu in front of them. So I'm going to start the same way with PicMonkey. I'm selecting the design tab. I believe the size is 1140 by 1720. If it's not, I will put it right here, but again, I think it's 1140 by 1720, and that will have a little bit of a margin on the top and the bottom. I told you guys before with my printer, it always will cut off a little bit, just like a couple of centimeters, so I sized exactly for that. I did a lot of trial and error with the sizes because I just wanted to make sure it was perfect. So when this is done, I will have 2 menus printed horizontally on an 8.5 by 11 page, and all I have to do is cut off a little bit of a border. So it's the perfect size for my printer. I hope it will be for you guys too. I really think it will. Once I have that shape, I'm going to go into text, write my menu, just kind of play around with text. I also found a watercolor image I really liked, so I'm just going to go to the butterfly, and at the very top it says pick your own image. I'm going to that, and then I'm going to open the watercolor image I found. Now keep in mind, if a photo that you find, a print, whatever, has a background of any color and you're not printing on that color paper, for example, I'm not printing on white paper, but there is white on the background of the image, you have to right click on the box that appears when you are selecting the image and push eraser, and you can play around with how intense the eraser is as well as the size. So I had to erase that entire white background. It really doesn't take that much time, but I really wanted to mention that for you guys in case you are planning on doing that. And also make sure that you are working on a transparent background if you are not printing on white paper. That's really important as well. That way we don't waste a ton of white ink. So after playing around with it quite a bit, here is the final menu I came up with. I may sort of tweak this a little, but I really do think this is the menu that I'm going to use for my wedding. So I think it turned out really cool. I'm really happy with it, and it's just one of those things where I feel like it just really makes a big difference. You know, it doesn't take that much time or effort, but I think it looks really nice. So I hope you guys like it as much as I do. I'm going to get into the haul now, and the first thing I want to show you guys are some table runners I bought. I'm going to put a photo right here from Pinterest so you guys kind of get the vibe I'm going for, but I thought these were really cool. It is like a lace table runner, and they do have these in ivory as well. I got them in white, so obviously it's like see-through, and then the end of it is like this. It has a tassel on it, so the sides of these will kind of like fall off the table. I think that will look really pretty, and these were really inexpensive. I think this was only like $3 each, something like that, so I will link them down below in case you guys want to check them out. I just think stuff like this is really, really pretty. The next thing I want to show you guys are some custom stemless wine glasses, and we searched probably like 10 rental companies at least for wine glasses for our wedding, and they all were like the really, really thick stems, something that can be used for water or iced tea or wine supposedly, but we just felt like they looked really terrible and we just were not into it. So my fiance Chad is really into like stemless wine glasses, so we had these made. They have our name on them, and then they have our wedding date, so hopefully you can see that. I don't know if you really can. We also think of this as like a takeaway from our wedding, something people can just take home with them, so we thought it was really cool. It's really useful, obviously. At the same time, it's not just something that's like one and done. So these are made of glass. They also have plastic ones. They have like a bunch of different options, but I'm really happy with these. I will link them down below if you guys want to check them out, but it's a really nice company, and they have like a bunch of different fonts. The size can be different. You also can pick like where the font is placed, so there's a lot of ways to like personalize them, so I just think these are really cool. The next thing I want to show you guys is something that I found on Pinterest. Shocker, I know, but whenever I search for weddings on Pinterest, there's always a guy wearing suspenders that are custom that like have his initials on them. So I got these ones for Chad off of Etsy. I will link the store down below, but I got these in a navy color, and then the text is white, and then there is a brown leather thing here on the back. I meant to get the ones like this. I had to order these from a different seller. I don't even think I bought these on Etsy. I think I just searched for them, but I meant to get the ones that have this for the buttons, and I accidentally got these ones, so I just have to switch it out. But I'm just really excited about these. I don't know like how else to show you guys except just sort of like hold them up. Obviously I'm not going to like put them on, but I just think these will look really nice. And actually the brown that I got from a different seller is like the same exact brown that's on here. So yeah, I'm really excited about these. I think it'll just look really nice, so I wanted to show you guys that. And those are all the things I'm going to show today. I didn't want to show too many things because I figured with the tutorial it would get a little bit long and I didn't want to keep you here all day. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe and like if you haven't already, and make sure to check out the links down below, and I will see you guys in my next video.